What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Hopefully, you guys are having a great day so far. In today's video, we're going to cover a little bit about the brand new coalition event that just dropped in game. It's going to feature the brand new Tainted Demon Lord. Now, this Demon Lord is only going to be here just for this event. It's not going to go and be permanent or anything like that. It's not going to replace the existing Demon Lord and all that. So you can see here, I have over 10,000 points already. Now, I want to make it clear in this video that I didn't make quite clear in my first look video for this coalition event that I did not factor in the community multiplier to your own points when factoring in how many points you need to achieve this 20,000 point threshold. So technically, all you really need is 10,000 personal points, and then pray that the community or the biggest whales in the game can give you the 2x multiplier. If you can hit the 2x multiplier, then we're going to be getting the 20,000 personal points, and then we can max out the reward. Now, in this video here, I'm going to talk to you guys about all my teams that I use to get my personal demonic points. Keep in mind, this is day one, guys. So obviously not all my teams are optimized, but I'm going to show you guys exactly how I went about everything and what I did to get the best results. So obviously we do have quite a bit of rewards here that we can pick up, a bunch of gear, relic material, even some shards in here. So not all that bad. We got a legendary book as well in the higher ends, and then we have 50 mythical relics as well as a mythical book, and the grand prize is a 5-star basalt. And the community rewards, I mean, a sacred shard, legendary book, is not too shabby. Now, initially, I thought this game mode was going to be pretty bad, but I kind of enjoy it a little bit just because it does bring back a little bit of old nostalgia from fighting the old Demon Lord from many, many years ago. It forces you to watch the battles, and honestly, it's kind of enjoyable sometimes. So I did enjoy it a little bit. I'll show you guys the teams that I used and the strategy that I was using here. So first up, on stage one, you have no restrictions on your champion and your team, which is amazing. This is the stage where you need to capitalize on getting the maximum damage you can because you just have your full roster at your disposal. Now, keep in mind the threshold here for 85 million. They're all at 85 million, by the way. But the points you get at 85 million is the least, which makes sense. It balances it out. So that means you really want to exceed the 85 million as much as possible. My personal best right now is 362 million damage. And you can see here on stage two, I barely crossed the 85 million mark just to get the final milestone, to get the final bit of points. Barely. And then this one on stage three, I did 106. On stage four, I did 105. And on stage five, I could not clear the 85 million. Now, I'll show you guys what I have in terms of rosters. I'll show you guys stage one later on, but I'll show you guys stage two. It's actually kind of interesting. I did end up using this team here, which actually was very enjoyable to play. Ezio is very, very nice. Hopefully you guys got him if you guys have been playing for a little bit of time. He's very good. His poison detonation can deal, anywhere from up to 1,000,000 damage from what I was seeing. He can hit pretty hard, so you want to gear him with your best offensive gear. Podrick, very strong champion as well, giving you Terminator boost, ally attacks, cleanses, and all that. Dracomorph, I brought back the old clan boss goat here. He synergizes really, really well with Ezio because of his poison damage. He also brings the defense down and weaken. Ezio does have defense down, but Dracomorph with the weaken as well. He's also the one with the brimstone, so that's going to help out with a couple million damage as well. So Furion works out pretty well. Terminator boost, HP burn, a little bit of the shielding as well. Donatello, super MVP, guys. I've been singing this guy's praises for so long. He's an absolute stud in this format as well. Cooldown resets, cleanses, plus speed, plus turn meter. Bit of healing as well. Strengthen's going to be really good against clan boss. This is a really fun team. In terms of overall damage, it just squeaked on by. I'll move on and show you guys the team from stage three. So on stage three, we got the Shia Crocad connection here. These guys are really strong. I find Garo, she was doing okay. I basically had her in the secondary form the whole time. Mithralar coming in here with the consistent brimstone. You see Shayak has no damage because he's not placing the brimstone. Mithralar is more consistent. Arbiter's here for the Terminator boost, and that's about it. You guys might notice that when you guys are fighting the Demon Lord, you guys don't have a lot of turns to do stuff. So it's really, really important to bring champions that give you a lot of turn meter. You want increased speed as well if possible. You want your extra attacks coming in because you only have 20, 25 turns before the clan boss starts going absolutely crazy. At level 20, the clan boss starts to ignore unkillable, starts to ignore block damage, starts to ignore shields. He starts hitting way harder as well, and the stat requirements for him also start going up way higher. So this team got me over the fence with 106. Stage 4 here, we got 105 from this combo. I'll tell you guys exactly what worked. The newts actually do pretty good damage with their A3. They also bring the counterattack, so you're going to get some extra attacks rolling through without the boss, getting more turns against you. So the counterattacks are actually really nice for Newt. And they also bring weaken. So for this group, I actually didn't have too many options for the weaken. Hilvy's here basically for the turn meter boost and the A1. I basically shut down her A2 because the A2 is just a strip. It doesn't really do anything. I'd rather have her just A1 all the time just to have the decreased defense. She also brings a turn meter boost with the increased speed, which is really important. Like I said, increased speed, turn meter boost, you really want as much of that as possible. Like I said, the newts were doing pretty good. Harima here, I mean, she is in ignore defense, savage, lethal, with a 6-star crushing rend, and she wasn't doing that much. Granted, there was no increased defense on this team. Now, I was looking around my entire roster and I couldn't really find a suitable increased defense champion to bring along. I had Ragash, but Ragash is like a solo increased defense champion. So I didn't have a team wide increased defense champion that was worth bringing in. So unfortunately, Harima's kind of left there. Mikage, another huge, massive MVP. I mean, she's just huge as a free champion for anybody's account. Of course, her connection here with Harima is really good. Her A1 is going to send Harima in for some more damage. She also brings the ally attacks. She also brings the A2, which will reduce the duration of any kind of debuffs that the boss lands on you. And it's really important because the Demon Lord does land some very nasty debuffs against you. Decreased speed, block buffs, and then the Master Seal. You want those off of your main damage dealers as quickly as possible. Now, she also brings a buff duration decrease as well for the clan boss. So you don't want the clan boss to have his plus attack because that's going to deal a lot of damage to you. So again, Mikage, huge MVP here across your entire account. So that was stage 4, 105 million here. And then I found on stage 5 was my biggest challenge here. We only managed to do 55 million damage. My Turvo actually performed really well, 26 million damage here. These are on full auto, by the way. So even though Lamasu's here, she's on full auto. I have Turvo going second. I think Lamasu targets the second champion with her reset. She was targeting Turvo quite often when I was watching it. Thor is doing pretty well here as well. Ugo with the decreased defense. She's in a hex set, unfortunately. If she was in a feral set, then you could squeeze out a little bit more damage. And Korra here for the cleanse, a little bit of shielding. And the A1's really good to reset, reduce some cooldown on some of your key champions. For Lamasu, I actually not reduced, but I shut off her A2 on the preset. So then she just A1s and then A3s. Her A2 just doesn't really do too much. The block buffs is already handled here by Ugo. So I just want her to do the A1 and then the reset stuff. Thor, I also turned off his A2 and A3 because his A1 has a chance to quad hit, which actually deals more damage than both his AoEs against the boss. And it also allows him to trigger his passive a little bit more often, especially when his A1 starts popping off, with the quad hits, right? So that was able to squeeze out a little bit more damage, but I was not able to get up to 85 million with this squad. I really have no options on this roster, on this part of the roster. So I'll show you guys my roster here. I mean, we could try Deathless, but that's about it. Like, there's just nobody else I can really bring to pitch in more damage or even support, to be honest. So I think we're going to be stuck with 55 million here and unable to clear the 85 million, which is totally fine. So let's jump into the stage 1. So stage 1 here, we did use the, Mikage Ninja connection. And I tried a lot of different combinations with Mikage Ninja. And this is the best one that I found. And it has all the elements you want if you want to build a team like this. Now, you don't necessarily need Ninja. Ninja's not necessarily the best either. I think Toshiro actually does more damage than Ninja. So you have an option of a limited champion that you can't get anymore or a mythical champion. I know the options are endless. No, I'm just kidding. You guys can actually use Marius. Marius actually works really, really well if you have no other damage options against the boss. For example, my Marius, not even in full merciless or anything like that, just using the straight arena gear. He was doing about 1.5 million on the A2 which is not bad, but it's not ninja level. But with Marius, you can definitely pump out a good amount of damage. Now I'll run some of this run on the background here. And it's actually, like I said, very satisfying. So we have the, obviously the ally attack with the Mikage, feeding the ninja lots of stats, plus attack, of course. And then Donatello's here for the cleanse, turn meter boost, cooldown reduction. And you just see the ninja just popping off after a little bit. He's going to take a little bit of time to ramp up and all that stuff. I do, spend like the first 5 turns like setting up a little bit just to make sure that skills are running. Mainly the cooldown reduction from Donatello. I want him to use it the most impactful time. Um, the clan boss, like I said, you don't have a lot of turns to do a lot of damage against him. Best thing you want to do is turn meter boost. A lot of turn meter boost if you can bring it. Right now, it looks like teams with Senna and Senna synergy are doing the best because she gives the most turn meter, or she can be the champion that can synergize to give the most turn meter. So if you have Senna, then she's going to cover a lot of weaknesses. You're going to pump out a lot of damage with whatever you're using. Um, for this team, we have other ways of pumping out damage, and we have one damage dealer with Ninja. We have basically every champion. Well, 3 other champions here are basically pseudo ninjas, right? Like we have Hatter. Hatter's A2 will send Ninja in to attack. He also brings weaken, which is huge. And he also brings a cleanse with the turn meter boost on this A3, which is really big because we're not running block debuffs. Mad Hatter is absolutely amazing. His A1 also can remove the plus attack from the clan boss. So Hatter, MVP, champion, if you guys have him, amazing champion. In Senza here, she has an A1 that brings in the highest crit damage champion to attack with her. So she's technically another ninja. So you want her to attack with the A1 as much as possible. We actually turned off her A3 so she doesn't apply decreased defense or weaken. We have decreased defense from Ninja, and then we have weaken from Mad Hatter. So we don't need incentives to do that. We just want her to do the A1 and the A2, which is a turn meter boost with a bunch of buffs. And the buffs will give more damage because she's in a 9-piece protection set. So that's the other thing. You want your ninja to hit hard, which means you just want the sets to boost up all his damage. Feral sets, protection sets. And then we have Lady Mikage, of course. Her A1 is going to send Ninja in. She's basically like a ninja herself. And then Donatello is just going to be here as the killer support champion. We're not running block debuffs, but we have ways to remove the debuffs from us. One, Mad Hatter, the A3. The A2 from Mikage as well can remove the debuffs. And then we have a full team cleanse with Donatello. So we had 3 options to remove the debuffs. So I felt comfortable not bringing block debuffs. Also, Ninja will get cleansed by Lady Mikage as well at the start of her turn, her passive. So Ninja's covered. This team, I think, works really well. I tried a lot of different options here. For example, I tried Sifi with, block debuffs. She brings a small turn meter boost, but her turn meter boost is on a 4-turn cooldown. That's not going to work. I tried Freya. She has a 3-turn turn meter boost with the block debuff cleanse. And it worked better than Sifi, mainly because Freya can do some damage. But that wasn't as good as this current build that I have right now. Like I said, in Senza with the A1, and then she has a single target turn meter boost. It's not as good as a team-wide one, but the A1 does make up quite a bit of damage for Ninja. So this team worked really, really well. I tried, like I said, many different options here, and show you guys the end result of this. And yeah, at about turn 25, it's kind of when things start falling apart a little bit. At turn 25, you're looking at like you need about 350 accuracy, maybe closer to 400 accuracy. At turn 30, the accuracy requirement to land stuff, it starts getting kind of crazy. Like we're talking 500. My ninja has 500 accuracy. We're running Lady Mikage with plus 80 accuracy, so that's 580 accuracy. And he's no longer able to land debuffs at about turn 35. All right. So the requirements get kind of crazy. So your runs are not going to last that long, especially if you need to land debuffs and stuff. It's not going to happen. And in the beginning, you might be able to resist some of the Demon Lord's debuffs, but later on, it just gets kind of ridiculous. His accuracy starts going up crazy as well. So yeah, Ninja, you can kind of see there, he's still landing stuff. We're only on turn 28, but once we get to turn 25 or 35, mid 30s, Ninja's not landing anything anymore. He's getting resisted on decreased defense. And yeah, it's just your damage drops off a cliff after turn 30. But it honestly depends where you're getting your damage from. Like for example, Ninja, most of his damage is going to come from activations, but he does hit really hard too. So a lot of his damage is going to come from just straight hitting him with the A1. So you see here, we're getting resisted all over the place. Most of my champions have at this point like 500 accuracy, but we're still getting resisted. So there we go. That's going to be the end of the run here. All right, I'm going to bring up some examples here just to show you guys the damage output. So I got Ninja here at 167 million damage. And then Marius is doing, roughly about roughly about a third, maybe about 40% about what Ninja does. So even if you don't have Ninja, if you bring Marius in, you're still going to clear the 85 million threshold on this stage. And I even tried out a Titus team here as well. We brought Donatello in just for some extra cooldown reduction for the Titus A2s. We did 234 million. I mean, that's very respectable, but it's not going to catch up to the Ninja there. Titus for me was hitting for about 7 million per hit, and that's going to be capped out because the shield size against the Tainted Demon Lord is going to be only 10% of what it actually is in other areas of the game. So Titus is only going to be 10% as effective as he usually is, and this is with Volcardiac Heart as well. So at least for me, it's going to be Ninja. I don't have Toshiro or anything like that. I don't have Senna as well. But like I said, the keys to having a really, really strong team is basically maximize your damage right away because you only have so many turns before the clan boss starts getting ridiculous. So bringing increased speed, that's going to be huge. Turn meter boost, that's going to be huge. Anybody that brings turn meter boost is going to be massive. You want, obviously, decreased defense, weaken, ally attack, the corresponding buffs to make your damage dealers do well, increase defense, increase attack. For example, cooldown reduction, so you get your key skills back right away. These are just kind of the basics of building the clan boss team, right? You want to protect yourself against his debuffs. So you either want to cleanse them off, you either want block debuffs, or you want to reduce duration on debuffs on your enemy, on your team. You also want to bring attack down so that the clan boss doesn't kill you very early, or you want a way to stop him from getting his increased attack. So either bringing block buffs or bring some kind of strip or steal. Those would help prolong the fights for your team so you can push out a little bit more damage. Anyways, guys, that's going to be it for the video. Hopefully it was informative for you guys. Best of luck on your Demon Lord runs. The best thing about this is that most of the runs don't really take too long, about 10 minutes. And you can do them as much as you want. And thank goodness there's no silver cost for moving gear around nowadays. That just really helps with experimenting. And you can run these runs while you're doing things in the background. Like if you have something running in the background, you can be doing these Demon Lord runs, which really, really help. Anyways, guys, all the best on your runs, best RNG, best luck on your top scores and all that. We do have, a couple weeks to figure out the better combinations, if there are any better combinations. And hopefully the community comes together and we can get this 2x multiplier so then more people can pick up these top rewards. Let me know in the comments below if this was helpful for you guys. Appreciate your time as always. If you guys enjoy the content, please make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. Would really, really help me out. Have a good time with this, and I'll see you guys in the next one.